first is if you already set like what story you wanted to do, you can pick the color that you wanted. And there are times that colors have meanings. So I can't really say all of the meanings because there are a lot of colors out there. So you have to search it on your own if you want more info about it. I'm just going to share how I use colors specifically on my artworks. So these are like color recipes that I'm going to share right here if you can see my screen. So first I'm going to share the monochromatic recipe, which is it's either you go for the all cool with accent. So these are like majority cool colors, and the reason why I'm adding accent colors because I actually don't like just a bunch of cool color and there's no accent, even though the accent is super small. So I think adding that kind of like just a bit is actually like a salt sprinkle or something.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our featured artist interview here at Brushpoint Academy. Our guest tonight is another hard hitter. So if you're a fan of environment art, you're in for a treat. She graduated as a Bachelor of Fine Arts, major in advertising from the University of Santo Tomas. But she has an illustrious local and international freelance career as a visual development artist. And she has had projects with BBC Studios and Studio Heartbreak, to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Gillian Galang.
Hello.
Ayan na. All right. All right. Let's get this show on the road. So let's start with something that's tied to your profession. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but personally, I rarely hear local artists talk about taking VisDev or visual development as a career path. It's not really that known here in the Philippines. So would you kindly tell us though, what is the difference between concept art and visual development?
So their difference, like based on my research and experience, it's the job title. So visual development and concept art, they do the similar thing. Like they both design. So they design for either movies, games, and other projects. But the title itself is like depending per industry. Like visual development is more usual for a job title for the animation industry, and concept art is more usual for the games or live action industry. So yeah, that's their only difference, the job title. Because there was a time that I'm like most on the visual development side, but I also get some gigs as a concept artist because I'm making some designs for indie games. So yeah.
So when you're freelancing, you can switch between the two easily.
Yeah, I think as long as you got what it takes and as long as you can do like what the project needs, you can switch.
Okay. So I know you already talked about it in a talk earlier this year, also here at Brushpoint. But for our new subscribers here, as well as future subscribers, since this is recorded, can you give us a brief rundown of how you grew your massive following of 32,900 followers? 900, yeah, followers on Twitter and or X nowadays, and 8,141 on Instagram.
I think one of the main things that I do is this. I post my sketches online. Like if I'm doing plainer paintings, I just post them. And if I'm doing
Mhm.
like warm up paintings, I just post them. But just posting them isn't enough. So I have to interact with people that have like the same vision. No, not vision, like the same career path that they're pursuing like me. So I think interacting with people in the industry helps to gain those engagements. And if you're also interacting with them without like expecting that they will give the same interaction to you, that is actually better because you're making heartful connections instead of like, hey, you should follow me because I followed you, kind of like that. Because I think it's it's a worthy connection if it's genuine, and if you really like the art, and if they also like your art genuinely, I think that matters a lot. And I think what contributes the most to my big following, it's because I also join like monthly challenges like plain April, or there are times that I would just join the hype train. Like for example, Twitter has viral tweets, or I mean X, sorry. Like they have, like for
Mm.
example, if you tweet this specific image for a caption, it would go viral and something like that. So it actually takes a lot of weeks to get that kind of following, but it also takes years because that took me years. And right now it's a bit exhausting. I mean, there are times that
Yeah.
I don't really interact because I'm just really exhausted. But I really appreciate everyone's support and comments in my art. And there are also times that I share my process underneath my main artwork. Like for example, on X, you can make a thread and explain your process. Like, hey, so I started with a rough sketch and then I drew this and that until you meet it to the finish line. Because I think interacting with your followers or your audience, they actually enjoy it, and they're going to follow you journey that you um in every journey that you go through. And I think I find it sweet that there are people who are like, hey, I've witnessed your art for years, and that just warms my heart so much. So yeah, I think I hopefully answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Now on the topic of meeting people online, I know you used to booth at cons because I first met you in Comic Con actually. So that's a little trivia right there. So were there times where people you never thought you would meet online like went up to you and said like, "Hey, I follow you."
Oh, like I met people offline and they told me that.
Oh, when they met you online, and then they came
Oh.
up one day in Comic Con, for example, like, "Hey, I've been following your work and I finally saw you." Like, do you build off connections there? Like, not really build up. You foster more connections there because it's different when you're interacting with them online, right? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they come up and support you physically in Comic Con, for example.
Yeah, I think it depends on the time of the day, because there are times that in on a physical convention I have like a high energy to interact with people, but
Mm,
like I think noon to nighttime, I'm like, if people would interact with me, I would be like, hello. And when they don't buy my art, I'm like, goodbye, take care. And then I'll just sit and take a nap because I think it really depends on the time of the day.
okay.
And staying at conventions for like a whole day is already draining, but I really try as
Mm,
much as possible to interact with all of the people who's viewing my table. Even though they don't even buy or notice me, I try to be approachable and welcoming as much as I can. So there are times that people would say that they follow me, and I would like talk to them for a bit more because I appreciate that the reason why they went to this convention, sometimes it's because they just want to buy the specific artwork from me, or they just want to meet me. So yeah, and I think during in the early hours of the convention I have the highest energy, so I can accommodate people. Like if you have any questions, yeah, I'll talk to you a lot, it's fine.
mm,
But if it's like almost con closing, I think my energy is dying down. Yeah, it's
okay.
not their
It's
fault,
quite
it's
understandable.
me.
It's a you problem.
Yeah.
So would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert given that example?
I think I'm an introvert because if I'm going to prepare to table for cons, it take me 2 weeks. Like I'm thinking of
Uh,
how should I interact? Okay, I'm going to say this and that. And then after
okay,
the
let's hold
convention
on to that.
I'm
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I can tell. Let's hold on to that. I think we'll come back to that later. It's something important. I want to set that up for something later. No.
Okay, okay.
There you go. We can move on first to you mentioned this artist before. Like you quoted her as one of your inspirations that pushed you to start digital art. And this is Chi Little. And if I'm not mistaken, you first saw her from Total Magazine. Because you and I we're kind of in the same age. So there's no age reveal
Yeah.
here. But we were born in an era that was nearing the end of the analog period where we still had magazines. we still
Mhm.
used and bought K-Zone, Total Girl Magazine, and so on. But we were on the verge of the digital era where everything was digitalized online. Okay, so if you were to hypothetically have a reversal in age, let's say you got Benjamin Button, you aged backwards, became a toddler, and then you became a starting artist once again in this modern era. Are there any modern artists that you think would be your new inspiration now? Who would you think
Oh.
would be the one that to inspire you to start digital art now in the modern age?
I think it's going to be Nathan Fowkes because he does
Oh.
paintings traditionally and digitally, and the way he uses colors. I'm actually super inspired with how he uses colors, his brushstrokes and such. So I think if I ever become like a baby, like a child prodigy, and then also like Nathan Fowkes' work, I think he's going to be like the first artist that I'm going to be super inspired with. So yeah, and I think also Mary Blair because Mary Blair actually has super fantastic shape language. Till now I'm still kind of like using that influence from her because her shapes are like the art style of Disney back then,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really love her shapes. Her use of shapes are amazing. So yeah, I think those two.
Mm. Between those two eras, like the Gillian
Yeah.
Galang that was inspired by Chichi Little, and the hypothetical Gillian Galang that would be inspired by Nathan Fox and Mary Blair.
Yeah.
Those are radically different art styles. For those of you in the listening right now, if you search their art styles, those are very different. What changed between that older Gillian Galang that got inspired by Chichi Little and the younger hypothetical Gillian Galang that would be inspired by different artists like Mary Blair and Nathan Fox?
I think what changed is I used to the reason why Chichi Little inspired me a lot, it's because I love drawing anime back then and her style is kind of like close to that, but it's more on the chibi version. And now that I'm kind of like taking it to like the animation industry or the game industry, I think that's what happened. Like my inspirations
Mhm,
change because of that, because I kind of want
mhm,
to grow out of it. But I still do chibi art for fun, but not for like serious projects anymore. But there are times that I would open commissions just for fun to draw anime art style or something. But yeah, I think I just grew from it, but I still hold to that inspiration. Like it's still a part of me. I think if not for Chichi Little, I won't be drawing digitally.
mhm.
So yeah.
Oh, I can see like the inspirations now as well. Like from all three of those. Like I
Hmm.
stalked your Instagram like all the way down to the first few artworks. And I can see like the connection now. And it's very important to like understand your influences and their influences to
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from and that helps develop it. And speaking of developing, let's talk about your art style right now. So you kind of mentioned that your workflow is similar to Aeonix's. So for our subscribers, you can check out his recorded interview somewhere here in Discord. So we can sort of brush past that. But one thing, me, myself included, and some of the subscribers here, and I'm sure your fans notice it as well, is your command and color. So could you help walk us through how do you pick your colors? Because that stands out right away.
Okay, so I got something prepared for that because if I'm just going to talk about it, I think it's going to be hard. But I'm going to give a warning that I'm still not good with colors. I'm still learning about it. Colors are scary. They're actually the scariest thing that I've tried
Really?
doing, but I'm still trying my best to learn from using colors. So
Mhm.
I made one. This is not scripted, by the
Oh.
way. So I made this mini guide. So if you guys are interested after I finish sharing this, I can share this as a PDF, but I'm going to explain it by word and there are not that much words here. So colors are um one of my main objectives first before I plan my colors is what story am I going to tell? So also, yeah, I'm using my own terms here. This is my own color theory. Oh yeah. So first is if you already set like what story you wanted to do, you can pick the color that you wanted. And there are times that colors have meanings. So I can't really say all of the meanings because there are a lot of colors out there. So you have to search it on your own if you want more info about it. I'm just going to share how I use colors specifically on my artworks. So these are like color recipes that I'm going to share right here if you can see my screen. So first I'm going to share the monochromatic recipe, which is it's either you go for the all cool with accent. So these are like majority cool colors, and the reason why I'm adding accent colors because I actually don't like just a bunch of cool color and there's no accent, even though the accent is super small. So I think adding that kind of like just a bit is actually like a salt sprinkle or something. And then next is the all warm with accent. So this is still monochromatic, but I'm kind of adding a bit of cool colors here. And then next is the complementary. So if you notice that complementary is just picking what's in front of that color to make it more appealing. And then next is the triadic. So you just pick like the top three colors that you want. So I think what's the easiest thing to do is you pick your complementaries first, then you pick the supporting one. And then I think it will go easier there. And then next is saturating the focal point. This is like one of the usual things that I usually do for my artworks. So this is the reference photo on the left, and on the right is my plein air painting for this reference photo specifically. So if you'll notice that I saturated the colors of the tree and the other objects here, and behind them it's less saturated because I want you to focus on the tree more than the background. And then next is temperature based on experience. So I learned this technique from by doing plain air on the spot. So, but this is not on the spot, sadly, because this photo reference was taken from our trek to Mother Falls in Baler. So, I remembered that my experience with this specific place, it's actually a cold place, but not that too cold, like an air conditioned cold. It just feels like it's not Philippines weather. But
Okay.
so I tried kind of like incorporating that temperature here by making most of it in the cooler shade and then adding a bit of warm, just a bit. Oh, what were you saying, Justin?
No, I said, yeah, go on.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I think I actually love this technique because if you kind of like make your own plain air or any artwork and then you wanted to kind of show what temperature it is, you either go for the cool or warm colors and it's going to look great. And then next is gamut mapping. I think I do this unconsciously because I don't know. I actually don't really plan my color wheel because I use the HSB slider in Photoshop. So, the reason why I did gamut mapping on specific artworks is because there are times that I don't want to go for the natural colors of specific objects. Like, for example, trees. The trees, sorry, the trees should be
Yeah.
green or the grass should be green. But I wanted to kind of like aim that this should be a bit of a whimsical color. So I tried kind of like changing all of the colors on this reference photo. Sadly, I can't see the reference photo anymore. But the location for this reference is actually at UST, the Fountain of Knowledge. I think I forgot which one it is because there are two fountains there. And actually, if you're going to do gamut mapping, I suggest that you just draw a triangle, then try moving it and see what color fits best for what story you wanted to tell. But as I mentioned earlier, you have to research like what are the specific color meanings. So your colors are going to be more intentional. And then next is color. Oh yeah, I mentioned this earlier. So color based on meaning. So there. I wanted to explain this piece specifically because I used green because it's inspired from Disney's use of green for their villains. So they use green for their evil characters a lot. And I wanted to use it specifically for this piece because I wanted to feel like it's a bit haunting to go into this place and such. And I know there are a lot of colors here like red, orange, blue, or such, but they're tinted with green, but they're not super tinted to the point that everything is green. You can still notice that these colors are still in there. And then next is tone down values. I'm sorry if the color wheel isn't really accurate, but these tone down values, especially the two paintings, um the left and middle painting, they're done on the spot. So the reason why I toned down these values because I just want to show like kind of like a different meaning to them. Like I remember painting the one on the left that it's super crowded and the weather is super cloudy and I kind of want to show that there's no sunlight and I think there's just a bit of shadow, but I still want to show kind of like how haunting it is. And then the middle one, it's kind of like it's still like on the cloudy side. That's why the values are a bit toned down. But I suggest you don't tone down most of it because if you tone down most of it, it's going to look a bit sad if you understand. So you have to add like some mini accent colors, like a bit saturated ones. And then the one on the right, I wanted to make it look like a bit magical or something
Mhm.
mysterious. And I actually kind of like observed that something mysterious is more on like toned down or darker side of colors. So yeah. And then next is high key. I actually don't do that much high key because this is the hardest thing that I haven't done successfully yet. But high key, you have to bump the colors all the way up, like they're super bright and such. But I haven't done this like successfully. Hopefully in the future I can do this. And
So
then
wait,
color
what makes you
variations.
think before we
Oh,
move on?
okay.
What makes you say
Yeah,
that
go back.
you haven't done it successfully yet? Like objectively speaking,
Because,
what makes it not
oh,
successful?
okay. I think it's not high key yet. It's not that. I mean, I
Wow.
think this is high key, but it's not really at the highest key yet.
So
So I still haven't done that
okay,
successfully yet.
okay. You can show us an
Okay.
example later of what a successful high key is. We can move.
Oh, I think I can show it now. If I can do it. Like, I'm just going to make this super bright. Oh,
Quick demo.
oh like, okay, I'll turn this super bright. Nope,
Are
it's
you
not
setting it on
working.
fire? Like super like oh so
It's not
what is high key? Like are we talking
okay. I
there's a filter for cameras. Like midsummer, is that high key? Like super saturated?
high key is super saturated, but at the same time, all of the colors are like on the lighter side of the value.
Mhm.
So that's why I kind of like haven't
Oh,
succeeded making this. Oh yeah.
because it's pretty interesting because
Okay.
I consider your art very high key already, but I didn't know like from what you said right now you haven't done high key. So I wanted to like help differentiate like something very colorful that cannot be high
Yeah.
key yet as well. Like how do you tell? Like, it has to be like super saturated.
Oh, there's a difference with super saturated and super light colors, but
Mhm,
you can actually see that okay, I think my piece is super saturated than high key.
mhm.
And high key is actually if you look at this part instead, this is I
Uh-huh,
think this is the only high key part in this painting, like this one. And
uh-huh.
not the whole piece because I think this is still too dark for the high key part.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Okay. Yeah, I hope that
Okay,
helps the
yay.
audience. Okay, please carry
I
on.
hope you guys understand something with it. Anyway, so color variations are actually my favorite thing to do on most of my paintings because I get to add like different kinds of hues on different colors. So, for example, if the shadow is on the bluer side, I get to add like violet or other shades of violet, other values of violet. And if like there are, I forgot to add the color wheel for this part, but there's actually a bit of green here and sometimes a bit of orange. So if you're going to do color variations, I suggest that you should be careful with it, because if you're not careful with planning, like adding color variations, it can turn your artwork into like an overwhelming mess than making it appealing to the eye. So for example, you added all of the colors there on the color wheel for like a single painting, it's going to most overwhelm the whole painting than what you wanted to do. I mean, there are artists who does it, but if you're going to do it for, like for example, like let's say environment works, and you're going to add all of the colors on every subject, it's going to overwhelm the eyes and your focal point will be lost. So you have to plan it accordingly, and you also have to kind of like set some sort of limitations, like this for example, this should have like most of the color variations than this one, and then this one, because you wanted this to be like the focal point of your painting. And the reason why I learned no, it's not the reason, I actually found out about this technique specifically because of my art idols, which is Angela Song. She's actually the creator of Warrior Painters and the one who made Plain April, as far as I remembered. So yeah, if you're still scared to kind of like do color variations, it's okay. It takes time. It took me a lot of background studies to do it. So yeah, I think that's the final for the color presentation. I'm also intimidated with colors, and I'm still learning and exploring. So yeah, I hope this inspires you guys to try and to just try different kinds of color recipes for your next projects. So yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that quick demo. That was
Yay.
not scripted at all, guys. So thank you for that. Now you mentioned one of your inspirations for color. Um, could you walk us through who are your art influences for that? Because where did you learn that? Like from picking out colors, it's not an easy thing to do. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some idols that you looked up to. Could you give us a few? Because I think they're very instrumental in like who you are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so first is the one I mentioned earlier, Angela Song. If you're going to check her work, she does plain April a lot and plain air on the spot, digital and traditionally. She's the coolest person ever. And Nathan Fowles, I also look up to Ivan Earl and Edgar Allan Payne. Wait, I'm pronouncing it right. And then I actually also studied the works of Fernando Amorsolo, and I'm remembering other artists. I also look up to Yuki Demers. Yuki Demers is a visual development artist for Spider-Verse. And Kat Chai,
Mm,
or Kat Sai. I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name. I'm also looking up to her. So yeah, I think those are the artists that influence how I color right now and how I paint or plan most of my works. I also have their books here. That's why I'm kind
uh-huh.
of like, especially Nathan Fowles' book, but I never finished it. I just studied it and looked at it. Oh, that's how I plan his colors. Oh, I actually also used to study James Gurney's colors. Um, I His colors are actually amazing because there was a time that when I started doing plain air on the spot, the colors looked so muddy. And when I read his book Color and Light, it gave me so much insight, like, oh, I should start with red before painting with green or something like that. So yeah.
All right. Those are some big names right there. Speaking of big names, you've made connections with a few other heavy hitters in the industry, most notably Devin L. Kurtz and Mr. Armand Serrano. Now, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, and maybe this will help some of the younger people here who are just starting out to build their own connections, but don't know how to start, you know. And you are a perfect example of that, from what I've noticed. So, um, what are your tactics for making people you look up to into your connections?
I think what happened with Arman Serrano, it's because we invited him to talk to our university back then for our organization. That's why he
Mhm,
kind of like got to know me. But for
mhm,
Devin L. Kurtz, I started like I started growing my social media back then. Like I only have 500 followers back then. And she has 17K or 10K. And I reached out to her. I asked like, "Hey, how do you do your background paintings and such?" I think that's the time where she followed me back because I think she also checked my work when I asked that question. And then yeah, I think you only have to reach out to specific artists, but not to the point that you're messing with them or disturbing them. You just have to be patient and and be kind to them so you can earn them like as a genuine connection. And I'm actually a huge fan of Devin and Arman, so having them as a part of my connection is still surreal to me. So yeah.
all right, but as an introvert, because you said you were an introvert, that's why I asked. It's kind of I wouldn't say common, but being an introvert and an artist, I kind of see a connection a lot, especially when we hang out with other artists here. They say they're an introvert. Now, for younger artists who want to reach out to people, like what would be your advice for them to combat the anxiety of talking to strangers? Because these are big people. Like, how do you get over um, that fear that maybe you're just another random subscriber or follower who's gonna shoot up their DMs? For building genuine
Mm,
connections.
I think you should take your time because I took my time back then. It's not really an easy thing to
Uh,
do. If you push yourself, it will look awkward because I tried that back
mm,
then and it looked awkward. So you have to take your time. Like you can practice, you know. I practiced with my friend like hey, can I chat them this? And yeah, you can chat them that. Like there are times that you can practice first before you interact with them. And when you're ready, I think you can make that connection to them, but have low expectations because sometimes they are busy and sometimes they won't reply because they have life outside. So if they ever reply back to you, then it means it's a bonus for you because they reached out. But if they don't, then just keep connecting with other artists. There's a lot of artists there, so yeah, just make meaningful connections and also don't forget to kind of like try complimenting their works as well, but be genuine with it, not complimenting everything like amazing, amazing, amazing. You have to just compliment like what you like the most. So yeah.
okay. So I got some tactics now. I'm gonna shoot up the art director of God of War and ask, what's it gonna take for you to get me? I'm just kidding. Nah. But on the topic of taking your time, you're one of the few artists that I know who welcomes art block. Other artists they dread it when it comes. But your mindset is different, and I wanna pick your brain on that a bit. And it's a heartwarming mindset, in my opinion. So if I were
Oh.
a budding artist getting frustrated with my art, what would be the symptoms I can look out for me to identify if I'm having an art block? Because I'm guilty
Oh.
of this myself. I may not know it at times, but I'm actually going to an art block. You're the one that tells me like, oh, Justin, I think that's an art block. Like, oh, I can't seem to draw, or I can't stay focused on what I'm drawing after work, or I'm feeling so tired. For younger artists out there, how can you help them identify what they're going through as an art block, and how can they get past that? What's your home remedy for an art block?
So for an art block, you're going to feel that when you can't draw or think anything. There are times that you are ready to draw something, but
Mm,
whatever you draw, it ends up going bad or terrible. So I think you should take that as a sign that you should rest or go outside, do something else. Because if you're going to force yourself to draw, it's going to be hard. But if it's for work, sadly you have to force yourself. But you have to assure yourself that after you finish that work, you need to take a break. You shouldn't be thinking about art afterwards. So if you're experiencing art block, you shouldn't be thinking about art or anything. Just do something else. You can do some chores or such. because I think art block is a normal thing for everyone. I think art block is a specific term for artists because it happens usually. So, but it happens to everyone, not just artists, like different professions as well. I think we just have a term for it, and not everyone has a term for it, which is kind of sad. So you just have to give yourself some time to rest, because I think you really need to take a break to breed yourself again, because once you're healthy enough, then I think you'll be able to draw or do anything. So yeah, you should be kind to yourself. But there are times that you're going to doubt that, why am I experiencing art block? Am I not an artist? I think that's imposter syndrome, and you should stop.
Mm,
No, don't. I didn't mean you shouldn't stop draw. You should stop drawing. What I meant is you should just really take a break. You should take care of yourself. Like, you should take a bath, eat, or sleep. I think that really helps a lot, because you can also lessen the art block if you're a healthy human being. So yeah, you should be healthy.
that's something artists go through, especially artists who have day jobs that isn't art, or also to artists who have day jobs as artists and do their personal art after, right? And
Mm,
it's kind of easy to fall into that, especially when you're freelancing, because you're gonna have a bit more of control on your time. Unlike if you're working in house, you have a set number of working hours for the day, what you're required to do, and then the rest of the
mhm.
day ideally is yours, right? Unless you have overtime. Now, let's talk about the hardships of freelancing. Let's get to the dark side. Something that's not talked about. A lot of people like
Oh
to
no.
sugarcoat freelancing. They're gonna say something like, "Oh, you should freelance. There's no ceiling with how much you can earn. Unlike if you're an employee, there's a ceiling, right?" So, what are some of the dangers that aren't frequently talked about as a freelance artist, especially for you as a biz dev artist? That's uncommon here in the Philippines. Um, as far as I know, But let's say, like, in general, what are the things you should look out for? What are the cons? And then is there a specific hindrance or roadblock as a biz dev artist from the Philippines?
Okay, so first is what I'm going to share is freelance isn't for everyone. I think it's a lifestyle than kind of like a job thing, because if you're used to doing the 9 to 5 but not freelance, that is okay. But if you're also used to freelance but not the 9 to 5, that is also okay. So b- it actually took me years to get into like a vis dev position. Like, it took me 2 years to get to
Mhm.
that kind of job, because the pandemic happened, and I can't seem to apply to any jobs at all. My last job was working at advertising, and I never liked it. That's why I left. And the only choice I have back then was to open commissions. So when I'm starting, I didn't really have that much clients, but there was this one client who kept commissioning me every month. So I'm very thankful for them, because I was able to survive the pandemic because of them. Like, for the whole year, they commissioned me every month. So when they were commissioning me, I was doing some visual development portfolio on the side. I was grinding a lot, because there are some studios who are like, "Hey, we are hiring some trainees, art apprenticeships for said studios." And I never got accepted to them. There was a point that I started crying, because is visual development really an impossible thing to do? Or is it because I'm in the Philippines? Because the main perception of everyone is, when you're in the Philippines, you won't be able to get into these jobs because most of the opportunities are abroad. And I wanted to be that artist who stays here but is also doing that job, which is what I'm doing right now. So it took me years, but I wasn't really sad about it, because I was earning from opening commissions. I started by doing character commissions, because I think that was the most in demand back then. But when I started opening like background commissions, because I really love doing backgrounds, background designs and such, there was this one client who really commissioned me. And I think that made me believe that okay, people are interested with backgrounds because my main thinking was that people aren't interested with background commissions, they're more interested in character. But when someone commissioned me, even they're just one person, it made me believe, okay, this isn't impossible. It's possible that people are actually interested with what I really wanted to do. So I kind of pursued that a lot. But there are times that you won't get clients. It's not freelance isn't stable, sadly. So you have to be prepared, like you have to have savings and other stuff. You have to be prepared for dry months. So that's the reason why this is not for everyone. And I think during 2021, Lightbox Expo opened some applications for their online table. And I was like, I'll try applying, even though I'm not there yet. I'm not a visual development artist yet. And I got accepted, which is still crazy to me because wait,
Uh,
are they really seeing me? Oh yeah, I
that
forgot to
scene.
mention. I forgot to mention, like, back in 2020, Lightbox Expo was also online, and I tried uploading my portfolio to their artist database, and DreamWorks gave me a portfolio review. Because of that, it gave me so much hope that, okay, it's possible for me to get this job even though I'm not there. So I kept pursuing it until on the same year, 2021, someone gave me a freelance gig that spans more than a year, and they wanted me to become their background painter and visual development artist for their indie game. And it's also the same year where BBC Studios inquired if they wanted me to become their visual development for their unannounced project. So that made me happy because okay, I'm finally pursuing the job that I really wanted. And I at the same time I have to be active on my social media accounts, which is Twitter and Instagram, because that is where I get most of my clients are. And what I'm really thankful about is that those two clients who reach out to me are followers of my artwork. So you really have to put yourself out there, post your works, because someday people will really see it and they will hire you for what you really do. So yeah, and till now, I'm still really thankful that I'm still pursuing this career. I'm thankful for Studio Heartbreak that they kind of like hired me to become their visual development artist, because a lot of people there are super talented, and I'm just like a girl there. But I'm learning a lot from every gig that I go through. I'm learning from every gig. And I also took Arman Serrano's visual development mentorship back in 2022. So that helped me a lot to kind of like, okay, this is how to make a visual development portfolio, then how I did it back on 2020 or 2021, which is just, I'm just kind of like self learning, like, okay, I think this is how I should do it or something. So yeah.
Okay. So for short, you just took shots also. Not just took. That's easier said than done. But like taking those shots, especially for putting up your portfolio in DreamWorks' database and applying for Lightbox and getting accepted. That's
Oh,
huge for
not
us
DreamWorks,
Filipinos.
not DreamWorks database, but the
Oh,
Lightbox Expos artist database, and that's how DreamWorks saw my
um,
portfolio. So yeah,
oh, okay, but they still
yeah,
gave you a portfolio review, right?
yeah, they
Pretty
did,
nice.
and yeah,
Yeah.
which is why I'm still kind of like in touch with the recruiter. They're no longer working in DreamWorks; they're working somewhere else. But
Oh,
yeah,
next time, next time, another connection. But you taking that bold step, I mean, you got nothing else to lose, and you already had some material ready for that. And I think that's something important for our subscribers to know that when opportunity comes, it's good that if you have something prepared, um, it's not every day that opportunity will come knocking. So it's nice to have some material ready, for in case when it does come, you have something to show for, right? So that's why it's really
yeah,
recommended that you keep working on your portfolio. But there are times where some unexpected things happen. So let's take an even deeper dive. You've been pretty open with how rough 2023 was, right? And for our young listeners here, how did you weather out the rough waves of the recent recession?
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share like an experience like back in 2022. 3D Total reached out to me and they wanted me to contribute for their book, which is for drawing and painting landscapes with Procreate. But by that time, I don't have an iPad. And I said, okay, I'm sorry if I'm going to reject you guys because I don't have an iPad. What am I going to contribute there? But after Comic-Con, which you met me there, Justin, I was able
Yeah,
to save an iPad. And then my friend told me that, hey, you should reach out again to 3D Total and ask if they are still free to kind of like get you, because you have an iPad. So I tried and um thankfully they still got me, which is amazing. But the start of 2023 for me was terrible because I lost my grandmother. So I have to back out again for the second time. But this time 3D Total was like, we'll wait for you. And that warmed my heart so much because the reason why I can't draw back then because I was grieving, but they were willing to wait for me, which is a huge deal for me. And sadly, after that gig, I'm still thankful for that gig because I didn't expect 3D Total to reach out to me. It's one of my dreams actually to be a part of their book, so I'm happy that it came true. So after that, a lot of things are happening in the animation industry, which is kind of sad. There are a lot of strikes. We're battling AI art. There are a lot of layoffs and such. So there's not a lot of opportunities for me. And at the same year, last year, I also lost my grandfather, who is the father figure of my life. So it was really terrible. And the only thing I did last year was I just opened a few commissions because I didn't have that much opportunities and it was really hard. But I'm really thankful that I get to save enough just for me to live and travel because I really think I really needed to travel back then with friends or with family because I was really sad. I was really sad. It was really a sad thing, a sad year for me. And I talked to my partner, JC, like, hey, I think it's okay if I didn't grind it that much last year because I think I can't really grind that much because there was a point I was crying every day because losing two grandparents is actually so hard and they're both close to me. And they supported my art career like in the beginning. So they're really a huge deal to me. But I'm still making my portfolio back then, but I'm just very chill about it because it's a tough time for me. So I have to be chill about it. Like I'm still doing plain air or not really pressuring myself. I also joined Brushpoint's Illustrator Pass. So I could see like,
shout out.
hey, I'll just see if I can still draw. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's still hard. Right now it's still hard. Sadly, there are still a lot of layoffs happening. But I'm happy that somehow my freelance is getting stable again, like I'm getting opportunities again from studios that I can't mention right now. Sorry.
No problem.
But
No
yeah,
problem.
and some of my clients are returning clients that have been commissioning me for years. So yeah, you just really have to keep posting your works on social medias. I also started posting my works on LinkedIn because why not? I should spread
Why
my
not?
art. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
It
Yeah.
does. All right. Now I got
Hmm.
like a last question. So our subscribers right here, right? You guys can prepare your questions. You can ask them on the comment section to the right side. But before we get there, I wanted to ask you, as artists, we can fall into the trap of equating our self worth to our work. More so now with the issue of AI, you know. So from your understanding of the industry climate right now, with all your knowledge so far, accumulated knowledge, with all your connections, with all the connections you've built and talked with, what are the things you think will never change for us artists that will help you and others to keep moving forward in this art journey?
That's tough. Hold on.
With the
I'm
onset of AI and technology, what do you think will stay constant for us artists?
I think there will be a time that AI art's going to be generic to the point that everyone will notice that it's AI.
Mhm.
So, what I'm doing right now is, if since I have too much free time, actually, I'm just trying to improve my art to the point that AI can't offer it. I'm the only one who can offer it, kind of like that mindset.
Mm.
Because we're as human artists, I think we can do better art than AI because we can do artwork based from our experience, based from our life, and based from other things that we can only do and not AI. So just sit back, AI will fall down. They're going to be very generic. I mean, yeah, it will take jobs, but I think not all jobs will be taken. They're going to be generic and people will hate it. Like, I think it's going slower, but people are noticing that, hey, that's AI. So it's going to take time, but I'm very positive that AI is not really taking over anything. They will stay, but they won't take everything. So you have to like just hold on to what you believed in. Like, you're the only one who can do that kind of art and nobody else. So you should be doing that. So yeah, improve
There
yourself
you have
and
it.
be healthy.
That's right. And she says that with a gun, pointing right at you. Like, improve
It's
yourself.
not a gun.
So,
It's not a gun. It's just thumbs up.
oh, okay. She was just being passive aggressive. I was just kidding.
Oh,
So there you have it,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. It's Gillian Galang. So that ends our interview portion. We are now opening the floor for question and answer. So please shoot your
Yay.
questions for Madame Jillian. So while we're waiting for questions, I'm gonna ask you this one thing. You find yourself in a CR of a gas station. I'm just kidding. No, we already asked that. So we're recording right now.
No.
We're gonna keep it safe. Too bad. Next time, next time. All right,
Okay.
guys. Shoot your questions for Madame Jillian right here. So,
Please ask
all right.
questions.
All right. When you mentioned you had like too much free time, and I know you and JC, your partner, have been getting back into health recently. You've
Yeah.
been getting back to being healthy recently. What are the things you do to
Yeah.
keep yourself limber? Because we're in the same age bracket, and sometimes our bones don't react the way they used to when we were younger. Like you hear creaking. How do you keep
No.
yourself safe and healthy?
Actually, I'm still not healthy. But I do work out at home. Sadly, I have to stop it because of skin conditions right now. But there are times that I do stretching and workout, and we also do jogging at night, me and my partner. And there are times that starting this year, I promised myself to attend dance classes even if it's just once a month because they are so worth it. I'm not a good dancer, but it helps me to like be happy. Dancing makes me happy even though I'm not good at it. But yeah, you really have to be. I think you really have to be physically active so you can be healthy. I know this kind of like got went viral. There was a time I wasn't really mentally stable, and what I read like a caption online that says that you have to work out to be mentally stable, and there are people complaining like, I don't want to work out, but there was this one guy who did, and he said that the workout people are right. It really makes you mentally stable. So yeah, and it really made my mental health better. And if my mental health is better, I get the job better. So yeah,
Oh,
you really
amen
have to
to
be
that.
healthy. Like, please don't
Yeah.
overlook your bodies.
It
Yeah.
releases like happy hormones working out. Some
Oh,
artists,
the
I know,
dance
like,
classes. Oh
yeah,
wait,
go on. No,
sorry,
you,
sorry.
you, you first.
The dance classes I attended are is not really in Zumba form, more like K-pop covers, basic femme and basic grooves and drills. It's not Zumba. I think if I do
Oh,
Zumba, I will get tired easily. No, I
okay. So
don't want to dance.
there we go, Soul Rock. It's not Zumba. Next question, please. Just kidding. All right, no problem with that. And some artists, I'm not calling you out, but like it's important since we're always cooped up in our desk, we're always hunched up. and every now and then it's nice to keep moving. And there are some happy
Yeah.
hormones being released when you work out. Sometimes as artists we overlook that because our emotions are tied to our art. So I believe that, and it's hard to paint something bright and vibrant if you're feeling the opposite, right? So maybe working out, maybe just going for a walk, touching some grass might
Yeah.
help. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Pawi said like tempted to ask what's her fave group, but no fave group. Like, is this like K-pop? But
Is it K-pop group? Because recently I'm listening
yes,
to they only have
K-pop.
one song, Bad Villain, and I
Oh,
kept
there you go.
repeating that. I also listen to G Idol. If I'm pronouncing it G Idol.
I,
I'm
I
not sure
think
if
it's
I'm
G
pronouncing
Idol.
it
Yeah,
correctly. Yeah.
could be wrong. No, no,
I
crucify me if
could
I
be
pronounce it
wrong.
wrong. Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Alright.
So yeah, I forgot the other groups. I'm not thinking K-pop right now. I'm sorry.
Let's not fall into the rabbit hole of asking who your bias is. Okay.
No.
Some people are asking about health. Is that really what you want to ask Jillian about? Oh, let's go. Yeah,
Health
that's good. Stand
questions.
mama move. All right, she'll be here to answer a few questions for a few minutes.
Yeah,
So
feel free to
while they're
ask.
aggressively typing, I can see a lot of people are typing. How do you pass the time in between projects? Aside from working out, and aside from doing chores, how do you? I know you're gonna say Valorant, so we're gonna skip Valorant as a.
No.
For those of you who don't know, she's an aggressive player. She and her partner JC, they the neighbors can hear them shouting. So aside from playing, how else do you pass the time? Like, I know you said you take a break when you're feeling art block. Um how do you decompress?
Mm, there are times that we would go outside, like literally go out of town or just go to the mall. Malls are boring actually. But there are times that I'm going to force myself to do plain air on the spot. And it's more rewarding than just staying on a cafe and reflecting on your life. Oh yeah.
Alright. Well,
So
I heard this from Nino, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, go on.
yeah, I think also I watch Netflix series. So
Oh, what are you
yeah.
watching recently? Like anything you hooked up to?
Yeah, I'm watching Bridgerton and I haven't
Oh,
finished the latest season because I'm sorry, I'm getting bored. I'm so sorry.
it's all right. I haven't started. I've heard of it, but I haven't started. So no worries there.
The first
Any
seasons are
shows?
okay.
Okay. Do you watch shows
Yeah.
while you're painting, or are you the type to focus on your artwork? Because I heard you paint very fast. You like to like get it done in 30 minutes or less. Like this right here, I'm guessing that took you 40 minutes. This artwork right here.
No.
How long did it take you?
I was recording this for a class, so it took me
Mm-hmm.
2 hours
2 hours.
because I was
That's still pretty
recording.
fast. Okay,
But
that's still pretty fast.
I
Cool.
think wait, I'll go here. Where is it? Okay, this artwork took me like an hour. This one took me 30 minutes. This
Mm-hmm.
two took me 30 minutes. This one I forgot. This I think it took me 30 minutes as well. This one I was talking with a friend, so this took me more than an hour. And this
While
one
you were
it took
talking with
me
a friend.
yeah, while I'm talking with a friend.
Sheesh.
This one I forgot because I was drawing it while I'm streaming it here on Brushpoint and I was talking to you guys while I bully you. Oh yeah. Um,
Yes.
that's it.
Okay.
But yeah.
On the top, on the topic of speed, you might say that's slow, but I see a lot of reactions here that are whoa, what the hell? 3 minutes, 2 hours, like whoa. So how did you how did you train yourself to be that fast? What are the
I
things that
think
made you efficient? How do you become
okay.
efficient? Yeah.
I think it started back in 2015 where I my schoolmate I saw my schoolmate posted an artwork, and they caption it like 30-minute painting, and it's under Daily Spit Paint. So it's a Facebook group, and Daily Spit Paint releases prompts daily. So you have to paint something under 30 minutes using that prompt without any reference. But if you want to search for references, it's part of your 30 minutes. So it's kind of like a hassle. So I tried kind of like, I'll just think of something. I know painting without references or drawing without references is bad, but I just want to try getting used to this. And when I did, I tried moving on from that and I tried painting references under 30 minutes. It was a bit of a hassle at first because the pressure is on. Like 30 minutes is a small time for you to think about what you're going to draw, and there are times that you'll get really overwhelmed with a lot of things. So what I learned throughout the years, like I've been painting like that for nine years now. So what I found efficient is that you have to draw the big shapes first, then go for the medium and then the small, and don't zoom in. I don't really zoom in. I only zoom in if
Mm.
my lasso tool isn't working anymore. So that is really helpful because if you can paint faster, you can also decide things quicker. And with that, you can also design quicker as well, which is very efficient when you're in the industry as well because of quick deadlines. So yeah, I also love using the lasso tool a lot because I'm not really a fan of line art, but I should be practicing that for background design purposes. So yeah, if you're going to try doing it yourself, you should start from references and less color first. Because if you're going to try painting with a lot of colors, it's going to overwhelm you. So you start with just limited colors or a monochromatic one, and then when
Mhm.
you're confident enough, you should tackle like too many colors. But if you're hardcore, then I'm not stopping you. Paint with many
Oh,
colors.
yeah, no one's stopping you right there. That's perfect. I was gonna ask her, how do you not get overwhelmed? And you just answered it. That's great. Oh, we got a question from a young subscriber here named JC. How do you
Hi.
plan and conceptualize what you're gonna draw? And how are you gonna start that artwork? PS, not a scripted or planned scripted question. XD.
How I'm going to start what I'm going to draw?
Like how do you start the planning? Let's start with planning first, because some of
Okay.
us, myself included, I like to do a lot of preparation like Batman. You know, do you do
Yeah.
planning or do you just get into there? So yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. I actually plan if it needs some designs, but I don't plan are plain or paintings because I have to do them on the spot or not. So if
Mhm.
I'm going to plan, my sketches are actually pretty loose. I start with sketching first. Wait, hold on. I start with writing what I wanted to do. Then I
Mm.
started doing the sketch first because I think doing the sketches first without any reference is going to be like a warm up for what I wanted to do. And then I look for references and then I improve the sketches. But most of my sketches are super loose because I don't want to be attached to my ideas because I want to keep exploring. And if my sketches are super refined right now, it's going to make me attached to them. Like, oh, I already did too much time for this one. I should just pick this. No, that's why my sketches are super loose because I want to keep exploring until like, okay, this is a good idea. And then that good idea will be refined like into a clearer sketch or a color sketch. I love doing color sketches more than line sketches because when I do color sketches, it feels like painting and I'm planning my colors there on the spot. So I love doing that more than line sketches. But I have to get used to doing line sketches. And when I do the color sketches, I take a break. So I do it the other day. So and I do the flat color blocks. I only do the blockings. And if I still have the energy to do the details, I'll do it. But if I don't want to do it, I'll just move on to the other day and I'll just render it until I finished it. So yeah, and
Mm.
oh, I forgot. If I'm going to look for references, I take a lot of references. I also not just I don't just look for photo references. I also read about them. I love reading about what I'm researching. So it's either I watch YouTube videos, documentaries, read articles. Sometimes I would buy a book if I can, but they're expensive. Sorry if I have to pirate some. And
We have
after I
a
collected all of those references, I have to purge some. So if I'm going to purge some references, I have to see if some of the references have similarities. And if they do have similarities, like, oh, they both have columns, I'm going to remove this one. Or if those columns are two different things, I'm not going to purge them. So eliminating or like limiting the references will help me design it better, because if I overwhelm myself with too much details, I'm going to keep on exploring and it's going to be a rabbit hole of just designing until the end. So
well,
yeah,
that
I have
makes sense. Yeah,
some certain limitations.
well, that's great. That's a great answer. So
Yeah.
I hope that answered it, JC, wherever you are. I hope you're okay. Yeah, I hope you're satisfied with the answer. All right, we have another one here from JM this time. Another
Oh.
J member. Given your current skills right now in the field of VizDev, have you ever thought of going back to a full-time job, but this time in the animation studios here in the Philippines?
No.
There we go.
Move on.
Enough said. Next question. There's some weight in that answer, JM. So she has her reasons why she said no. That's it.
I'm sorry.
I don't.
Never.
Okay. Never. That's enough said right there. There's a lot to unpack in that one word. All right. We can talk about that in our tambay sessions here in Brushpoint.
Yeah.
Hashtag joins. Hashtag subscribe. Join us in our noontime tambay. All right. Mr. Lan asks, describe a time when you had to work under a tight deadline. How did you manage your time and ensure the quality of your artwork?
Okay. So there was I'm not going to mention which studio this was, but there was this specific deliverable that I told them I only need 2 weeks to finish it, but they told me we need it by next week. Sadly, I panicked. So that was the time that I have to work on weekends, because I made a rule on myself that I shouldn't be working on weekends even though I'm freelancing. So I panicked and finished it. And gladly, it's still in the same quality. So I didn't worry. So that's what happened. But after that, like, I told them, hey, I'm going to slow down a bit, because that took me too much energy, and they agreed. So yeah.
So you were very transparent and open. You know, you communicated with them.
Yeah. Yeah. There are times that studios are kinder to you. Like if you're having an art block, they would like, you know what, you can take a break for 1 week. You can come back when you're okay. And I'm like, there are people who existed like this. They take care of artists. So yeah. I actually enjoy that kind of treatment. Like they really care for my well being, and they care for other artists' well being as well. It's really nice. I hope everyone gets to experience that kind of employee or boss someday, because they are really kind.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm crying right now.
No.
I don't want to talk about it. All right.
Oh,
Thank you for that
alright.
question, Mr. Lan.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a new subscriber. She's still. Oh wait, I'm not even sure. I'm not gonna misgender you, so I'm just gonna say they. They have a sprout in their name right beside me. Ena Kulot. I hope I pronounced that name right. I'll just call you Ena or Ina. All right. So Anna asks, any tips on how to stay motivated and consistent when working on a long-term project? What is long-term for
Oh.
you? Anna? Let's narrow it
Yeah.
down.
Can you define it? Can you define
Yeah,
long term?
yeah.
And what project is this specifically? Like, is it like official work or like a personal project?
Is this for BizDev or an illustration? A
Oh, a
personal
personal
project.
project.
Okay.
Actually, you should take your time on a personal project, but I really suggest that you set a deadline for it, because if you don't set a deadline for it, you won't be able to finish it. Since it's a personal project, you shouldn't be pressuring yourself. But if your deadline is like, let's say, 2 weeks, yeah, you should pressure yourself. So to keep yourself motivated, I suggest that you look. deeper into your inspirations, like how do they do it? Like how did they did their personal projects? You can also listen to artist interviews in the background, look through art books, but also take breaks, please. Like after you could also do the Pomodoro technique, which is if you work for 30 minutes, you have a 5-minute break. I do that recently and it's been helping me to finish some task. There is also like a 1 hour working period and you take like a 15-minute break. So yeah, you just have to be consistent with yourself. There are times that you're going to hate what you're doing. It's not just personal project but also on studio work. You're going to hate it and you're going to think like I don't like this anymore. That is okay. That is normal. That I think you're an abnormal person if you enjoy every project because there are times that you hate something and that is okay. So you have to pressure yourself that you need to finish this because you have a goal. You have to keep in mind of your goal, your deadline, and why do you want to finish that project specifically? Is it for portfolio purposes or are you going to use it somewhere else? So yeah, you have to be really specific about it so you can be motivated.
There you go, Nina. I asked her how she pronounced her name, so she says it's like Nina. So there you go. I hope
Yuki.
that answered it. I think she has a,
Yay.
or I think they have a follow up question for that.
Okay, okay.
She, they're typing. They're typing. Thanks. All right. All
Okay.
right.
Yay.
Oh, I think someone else has another question. We will probably answer 2 to 3 more questions, unless no one else. Oh, I see more typing. So yeah, while they're typing, let's on the topic of um doing personal project. Is there any IP you
Mhm.
have in the back burner? Something you're working on for yourself? Um, long term
Oh, I
one
can't show
that you
it
can
yet.
share. Oh,
I'm
she cooking some.
NDAing myself
Oh, there we have it. Spicy. Okay, that's enough.
because I'm trying to learn a new technique which is using 3D for 2D artworks. I'm still not good at it. I'm actually bad at it right now. So the reason why I have to keep it private is because I want to keep on experimenting to see if it's going to be successful. I know it's going to take time because learning 3D is hard for me. I'm a slow learner and I've been learning it for a year, but I'm very happy that ooh, I can make a building now, which is nice. But it has a lot of technicalities. So yeah,
Oh,
very
perfect.
oh
Yeah, perfect timing. Oh, sorry. Could you? Yeah, what were you gonna say?
wait, no, I forgot.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No worries.
I saw Raf's question and it was very on topic, like he was asking, could you give us a demo of how you integrate 3D to 2D environment art?
Wait, I don't have an environment for it yet. Can I just show you something? Wait. Can I stop sharing my
Sure.
screen? Will it affect the recording? So you won't
Oh,
see my files?
JS tech support.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Hold on. Because I actually did it, but it's not an environment one. It's mostly props. I'm gonna prepare it.
I see 3 people
Mm,
have reacted to Raf's question. So I think they wanted to see how you integrate 3D into 2D workflow. Oh,
okay.
make that 6, 7, counting 6, 7, back to 7, then 9, then 8, then 11.
Stop
Oh,
the
it's 12.
pressure.
12 people have reacted and counting 16, 18. What? Gee, a lot of people have
Oh,
been wanting to see how you did that. So interesting.
okay, I'm gonna show it. I'm just going to prepare it. Oops.
20, you know what's funnier than 20? 21. See, so we have 21 reactions right now, for Raf's question. So I think a lot of people resonated with that. They want to see because they can see strong shapes. And I know you took a class recently in
Yeah, I
underpaint.
did.
Um,
I love that class. Like,
Um,
I took that class because I really wanted to get used to Blender and incorporating it for my 2D work. Our instructor was Ulysse Verhaselet. He's a concept artist for Valorant. He mainly worked for Valorant maps. And I kind of want to do that for myself as well, but it's taking me too long, but it's okay. Hold on,
all right.
I'm kind of sorry if this is taking a while.
It's okay. It's on the spot. Very, very impromptu. I know
Okay.
Aeonics went through something similar in NGP. Uh, what's the name of your instructor again? Ulysses?
Oh, wait, let me link that so you can see.
Mr. Cornici
Mm,
is asking. Mr. Cheap.
this one, I'll send it here.
There you have it. That's the art station. Mr. Kurt asks, what's the most memorable project that you've done? Or maybe it can be project
Oh,
or the type of work. Can be a yeah, can be that.
I think it's the indie game that I finished last year. It's still not released. That's why I can't kind of talk about it. But what I really love about that the way I work with them, it's because they are really caring. I really love how they cared about me and how they took care of me. There was some troubleshoot that happened back then where I have to sew some PSD files together and it took me so much time. But they were so patient with it. So I really appreciate them for really being patient with me because they are the first visual development and background painting gig that I ever took for like a studio job. So I really appreciate the support that they gave me. So yeah, that's why I can't really forget about it. It's so unforgettable because I learned a lot of things and they really believed in me, which is really nice. So yeah,
Is there
I
any
hope that answered
idea?
your
Like,
question.
is there any idea when that game will be released?
Can't talk about it. I'm so sorry.
So we'll just find out about it when it's out. Okay. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
subscribers. I tried. I tried to get Jillian
Okay.
to slip. I'm just kidding.
No, I
Yeah,
can show
yeah.
some NDA, but I can't.
Mhm.
Art file.
Sheesh,
Um.
Raph, your question is a loaded one that Jillian is still looking for her path. You really caught her off guard this time, Raph. Totally not
What's the
scripted.
question? The
How y-
question.
how do you how do you integrate your 3D into 2D workflow?
Wait, I'm gonna show it.
Yeah.
There was there was this process that Studio Heartbreak taught me, and that is I forgot the term, but it's going to turn your 2D paintings into 3D. I'm not sure if I can share the plugin yet because but I think I can teach it to you guys next time if I have the time. So I'm going to make a building and I'm sorry if I didn't use a reference for this because I just want to draw something for fun and try building this in 3D. So they're all flat because I want to kind of like build them like a Lego piece on Blender. And then this is what happened. Yay. So I had a lot of fun building this. Like look at it. It's so cute. I think I can teach this next time. I'm just going to ask if Studio Heartbreak if I'm allowed to because I think they let me kind of like, you can teach this. I'm gonna like, okay, I'm gonna try asking again for assurance and I'll teach it to you guys. And then next is I drew this gate for fun. I just want to draw a study and see if I can draw a gate. And then I sliced it up so I can turn it into a 3D asset. And then this is what happened. I'm sorry if I don't have the video for this because I don't know how to record a video on Blender yet. And then I this was like the best Blender tutorial ever. Better than the donut one. I'm sorry. I hate the donut tutorial. But this is a Blender tutorial by Azusa Tojo. She sketches with Blender, which is insane. And she did this ramen tutorial which I try linking it to you guys later so you can learn it. Oh, it's not texture mapping. It's different. It's a plugin. I think I can teach you guys later or soon. I'm just going to ask my studio if I can kind of like teach it to you guys. And then what I really want to do with 3D is I want to over paint over on top of them. And this is my take on like painting on top of the 3D. So yeah, this is it,
Ooh.
Raph. I answered your question. Sorry if I have no environment paintings yet or environment design for it because I'm still not confident about it. I'm still experimenting because it's a different thing. Yeah.
Okay. There you have it. Real quickie. If you want the demo, she's gonna have to ask. So that means you're gonna have to stay subscribed here. So all the more reason to stay
Yeah.
subscribed. Keep subscribing and keep asking your friends to subscribe. All right. If you want to see it, you just gotta stay
Yeah.
here. All right.
Yeah.
If
If
then,
you actually, I worked hard on the demo videos that you're going to receive later. It has voiceovers. I hope you'll enjoy it.
wow.
Yeah. Oh,
In
actually, I'm
Ateneo,
going.
we call that Magis.
Okay, I think I can
Magis.
announce that. But I'm planning to
Okay.
open a Patreon this year. I just need to prepare some files. So yeah,
Oh, we look
yeah,
forward to
I'm
that.
talking.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
saying that
we-
so I'm going to be
mm,
accountable for my actions.
you got more subscribe. You got your own personal fan base. Don't forget about us, Mama Jillian. Don't forget about us here at Brushpoint.
Okay. I
Are
hope you
there
guys
any more?
enjoyed my yeah.
Oh, yeah. Before we wrap this up, is there any more questions? Last chance. I think we can end it here. So yeah, I think we can end
Okay.
it. It's a nice spot to end. So in this camera, this camera, this camera, this camera, tell us, tell the audience where we can find you. If is there anything we should look forward to? I know you mentioned your Patreon.
Oh
So is there
yeah.
any other project we should look forward to, and how else can they support you?
Okay. Please look forward to Studio Heartbreak's short film, The Lovers. Wait. I'll link the trailer. Then just watch it because I'm working there as a visual development artist. To make it clear, it's not a Philippine-based studio. We're international based, but yeah, we love making that film. It's very beautiful. I hope you can support it when it's out.
There.
So yeah,
Uh, where
and
where can they find you?
oh, where can they find me? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Kara, I think I'll link it down below if you're going for the after talk. So
Sure.
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Any last remarks? We're good.
Um, Last remarks. You can check my partner's works. JC's works are amazing. Please wait. I'm going to link it. Please check my partner's artworks.
Whee! Free plug, not scripted.
Not scripted, but yeah, I'm going to promote his works.
There we go,
Yay!
JC's Jillian's Partners Art Station. Please give him a follow as well. All right.
Wait.
Stay complete.
Hold on. Wait, last one.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna plug another one. Here you go. Please also check my partner's vlogs.
Oh yes,
Here.
vlogs. Are these
Yeah.
multi vlogs?
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Are you there? Are you in occasional videos? Do you make a cameo?
Yeah.
Now there we go. Please give JC's YouTube video channel subscribe to that. All right.